Hello, folks. You are tuned in to another episode of Listen in 3D, episode number 62. I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool,
And I'm Netta, aka Wondrous Net.
and we're both Team 3D, the host of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and the albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. Like what you're seeing, give us a like the video, share it around, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. If you want to help us out one step further, when you do subscribe, click on that notification bell. That way, you know when all our videos and shorts go live. We're almost at 100 subs. So, at the time of this recording, I think we're like at 92 last I checked. So, almost there. Just keep watching, keep on coming. Definitely doing our best, to try to mix the content up and all that wonderful stuff. So anyway, Netta. So I gotta ask. So I guess we're going outside of a little bit outside of hip hop today. Maybe not that much, since this band does have some hip hop roots, as you could tell. Have you heard this band before listening to them or whatnot?
I've heard I have heard their songs, but I wasn't familiar with I didn't know that they were the ones that made those songs, if that made sense. Like I heard their name, I heard the songs, but I didn't know Linkin Park was the one who made these songs that I've heard before.
Ah, you gave it away. So yes, we are talking Linkin Park. What album are we doing from them today?
Today we'll be doing Linkin Park's debut album, Hybrid Theory. It was released October 24th, 2000. It was certified 12 times platinum. It peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200. It had singles including One Step Closer, Crawling, Paper Cut, and In the End. There were music videos for all of the singles, plus music videos for Points of Authority and Cure for the Itch. And this was one of those albums with no guest appearances.
Yes, none whatsoever. So, Linkin Park, where do I start? Let me just start with their background. So, they are a rock band, American rock band, alternative, new metal. They've gone more into the electronica and pop scene, I think, as of late, with some of the recent albums. It's funny that we're doing Linkin Park because they recently just got back into, the whole mix of doing music. But let me explain. The current lineup consists of Mike Shinoda, Brad Delson, Joe Hahn, Dave Farrell, Colin Britton. If I butchered his name, I'm sorry. And Emily Armstrong, who is their new lead vocalist, a female lead vocalist at that. She's the first female to be in the group. Their original lineup consisted of some of the other guys I just named, along with Rob Borden and most importantly, the late Chester Bennington, who passed away 7 years ago. May him rest in peace. So pretty much a little background on the band. They started out, three high school friends: Mike Shinoda, Rob Borden, Brad Delson. They attended the same high school, Aurora Hills High School in the Southern California area. So Aurora Hills is a suburb of LA. So three of them attended high school together. They, graduated. Then they recruited two other guys, Joe Hahn and Dave Phoenix Farrell and Mark Wakefield. They were at the band called Xerox. After a couple of lineup changes, they went with another name, which is the name of their album, Hybrid Theory. Funny enough, and then eventually they needed I guess Wakefield. I don't know if he had a falling out with them or whatever. He was their lead vocalist. Um, they had a fallout or whatever, so they needed a new vocalist, and then that's when uh, let's see, they recruited a vocalist from Phoenix, Arizona. I believe that's where he was from, Chester Bennington, who Jeff Blue, the guy who helped him get signed to Warner Brothers. So and then so he tried out for the band. So yes, he's in Hybrid Theory. But then I guess there is another band out there by the name of Hybrid, or theory. Yeah, I think there was another band called Hybrid. So I guess to avoid any confusion, they had to come up with a new name. So they settled on a park in the city of Santa Monica called, at the time, which was called Lincoln Park. I believe Chester was the one who came up with the idea for that. The park today is now called Christine Emerson Reed Park. No relation to me, by the way. Just figured I'd put that out. At least I don't think I have a relative by the name of Christine Reed. But there have been petitions to get that park changed to Chester Bennington Park. So we'll see if that happens. So pretty much, so that was the original lineup, and just for what Linkin Park's doing today, they have an album coming out in November. It actually might be out or about to be coming out around the time this episode drops. So just be on the lookout for that. Me personally, as for me, I've been a big Linkin Park fan for many years. This album, along with their second album, Meteor, are two of my favorites. Meteor, I think I liked a little better, but this is a great one too. So can't get mad at both of them. They're just great music overall. And yeah, just listened to them throughout high school, my early college years, and definitely one of the bands to put a stamp on the alternative rock, new metal scene. Definitely with that heavy metal blended with a little bit of hip hop. So they definitely big part of that. So one of the best to ever do it, in my opinion. For their vinyl, I got their second album, Meteora, and um, I recently got their singles collection, which would be a greatest hits. That was kind of a long time coming. I didn't realize after all these years they didn't put out like a greatest hits or anything. So I recently got that on vinyl. Usually I try to have it behind me, but I'll show it to y'all before the episode is out. So yeah, that's a little bit on Linkin Park. Just great to see him back on the music scene overall. Do you have any memories of Linkin Park or know anyone who listened to him or anything like that?
um, I don't think I knew anybody that listened to them. The only song I actually remember knowing it was them and that they were singing was when Jay Z teamed up with them on Numb slash Encore.
Yeah.
Uh, but besides that, I passively kind of heard their music just in passing, but it was very popular because even some of the songs that I've listened to on this album really were really familiar.
All right. Well, okay, so that's good. So at least you're a little familiar with them. I know. Yeah, Numb wasn't on this album. That was on their next album. That arguably could be their greatest song of all time, I would say. But if we ever do Meteora, we can debate that, and we can get into it there. But one thing I will say, one of the reasons why we decided to do this album is I know we haven't done EPs in a while, but we were going to do the Jay Z and Linkin Park Collision course, but then we thought about it and we were just like, no, let's do a Jay Z album first. And to be fair to them, a Linkin Park album. So we settled on this one, at least for now. So that would make a little more sense before we conquer the Collision Course EP. I know we hadn't done EPs in a minute, but that's one of the ones we will be doing. Spoiler alert. All right. So, oh yeah. And then another thing about Linkin Park too, that they've done many albums over the years, and they've even worked with a producer that we've talked about on this show before. Care to take a guess who?
No idea.
Rick Rubin. They did some work with him.
Oh,
Not on
okay.
this album, but just some of their later albums. He
That makes sense.
yeah, our favorite producer, Rick Rubin. Worked with Run DMC, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Linkin Park, Jay Z. The list goes on and on who he's worked with. Great producer, great guy. Okay, so all right, so going into it now, let me make sure I lost connection here, people. So just bear with me. All right, so let's start with the album artwork. Um, what'd you think of it?
I guess they were going for like a oxymoron thing, like a soldier with a dragonfly.
Mm.
I read that it's supposed to illustrate the blending of the hard and soft musical elements. Uh, I think honestly, I think it could be a little better. I do like the stamp. The stamp is hard. Like it looked like somebody literally got a stamp and was like, "Bang, Linkin Park." I like that.
Yeah, one thing yeah, their logo's pretty. Yeah, the stamp. Yeah, their logo goes hard. It's one of the better ones in music, I think.
Yeah.
As for I'm always a fan of just seeing artists on the on the album cover. The one thing with I think that really missed here was just not seeing them, especially with it being their debut album. But definitely there's more opportunities to see them over the years. But I think with most of their album covers, I don't think they really appear. So it's
Yeah.
so.
The one of the band members drew it.
Hmm.
Michael, I believe I forget how to pronounce his
Mike
name.
Shinoda.
Mike Shinoda. He
Yeah.
drew it, so that's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
yeah,
He's a yeah. Mike Shinoda's an artist, and he's also well, he does do the rapping in the group, but he also did do. I forgot to mention the Fort Minor project, which was a hip hop project where he worked with the Styles of Beyond, John Legend. That's another album that we possibly could do down the line if you want to. If you want, just stay tuned. But yeah, don't rule him out as an MC. He's pretty solid. But yeah, he is a artist as well. So and arguably the band's leader. So but yeah, I thought it was all right. I thought, like I said, I think the only thing really missing was them. I think. No,
is he the leader just in general, or like on this album? Like I felt like the Chester guy was the leader of this album.
yeah, I think overall the band. I mean, he was the one that formed the band, so I would say he was the leader. I mean, yeah, he and Chester were the front guys, or are the front guys at least on this album. So I would say definitely today would be Mike for sure. With Chester no longer with us. So yeah. So anyway, let's move on to beats. A lot of great beats on here. A lot of great production. What really took your ear with the beats?
My runner up was crawling. I thought
Mm,
it was really subtle in comparison to the vocals. I
yeah.
like the juxtaposition and
Mm,
but my favorite one was paper cut. It sounds
you
like a
really love
beat that
Pepper.
yeah, I really liked it. It sounded like a beat you would turn on when you're like on a high speed
Mm-hmm.
chase or something. I really liked it. What
Uh,
did you think?
I had to go crawling as my favorite beat, and then let's see. I liked the beat the Runaway was really good too. So yeah, probably that one. But and then yeah, Paper Cut. It was interesting beat. Probably not my favorite, but it was a good beat though. Um,
Really?
yeah, yeah. It
Okay.
wasn't my favorite. I thought it was good though. All right. Okay. So album singles. So there were four singles, like you said. In the interest of time, we're gonna do the three most popular singles, and we will start with their first single, "One Step Closer." I'll let you start this one out. What'd you think of that one?
I thought this was a very angry song in certain parts. Like I felt like I could hear Chester Bennington singing through like his
Mm,
gritted teeth.
mm,
I thought it was a pretty good song. I really liked the hook with Chester and Michael. I like
mm.
when like Chester's like everything you say to me, and the rapper's like takes me one step closer to the edge. I thought that was really cool, and when Chester is saying "Shut up when I'm talking to you," uh,
Yeah.
it, I
Yeah,
thought that
he
was
Chester, I think, brought
crazy.
along a lot of his, real life, experiences, and not only into that track, but the whole album as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, just I think when it was one of the first songs I heard from Linkin Park, so it's oh yes, Linkin Park, yeah, here it is, that old school flavor Linkin Park that everyone loves. Yeah, so I think it's just like what great way to get it started, with them, their first single, should have been the first track in my opinion. Looking back on it, but Paper Cut, it's a solid song
You
too.
wildin'. Well, I thought okay, we'll get into it, but
Yeah,
I
we'll get
I
into it.
vehemently disagree.
Yeah, but otherwise, I mean, definitely, everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the yeah, yeah. So yeah, just I like how how they flow together, and they do that quite a bit, really good together in a lot of the songs. So everything
Yes.
you say to me, yeah. So definitely, it was a great song. Let's see. Let's get into the probably their second most popular song off this one, "Crawling."
But
Oh wait.
on the mute,
Oh, music
yeah, on the
video.
music
Forgot music video.
video,
Forgot.
I thought it was cool how they had Chester upside down. He was actually singing that part, "Shut up when I'm talking to you," and he's upside down. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, music video. I thought it was pretty interesting. Definitely, kids just sneaking around, whatever, seeing what they're up to, and then I don't know if you've seen Mike Shinoda lately, but I don't think he did anyone any favors dyeing his hair. I think it was in that video, Bright Red. Oh my god, that didn't age well.
Yes, it seemed like they had a lot of like ritualistic symbols or something
Yeah.
in there that, and I don't know, they were designed to be scary, I guess. But those kids, it's like it was funny. It's like a diverse group of Y2K teens in an
Yeah.
alley, and they go find Linkin Park, and then they go see them, and then they get scared and run. They get the heck out of there.
Yeah, I mean,
So
maybe it was Chester's voice that scared everything you say to
there
me.
was a number of things that could have scared them in that video.
All right. All right. Next track we're doing Crawling. Um this was actually one of the tracks that also, caught my eye with Linkin Park. I know in particular my brother really liked when this song first came out, but with Crawling, I just like the message behind the song. Crawling in my skin, these wounds, they will not heal. Fear is how I fall, confusing what is real. And then, there's something Chester starts out, saying there's something inside me, pulls beneath the surface, consuming, confusing. This lack of self control I fear is never ending, controlling I can't seem. And then, once again, you know, Chester and Mike, they do the pre-chorus together. To find myself again, my walls are closing in without a sense of confidence. I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take. Just pretty much about feeling insecure, being under your skin and everything. And I think the music video, depicts the song very well too. They really painted a perfect picture with that music video there. With the girl and everything. Just she was even crawling too in the video.
That's what I was thinking. They have her. She's got like a black eye, and I guess she's being abused. And yeah, she's literally
Mhm.
crawling. And every time they start the chorus, when they're like crawling, you see like I don't know if it's supposed to be glass or something, but it breaks
Yeah.
into the camera. I thought that was a really good effect. I liked how at the end she's like smiling in the mirror. The blood dries up in the sink, so I guess it's a happy ending.
Yeah.
Uh, for the song, this was one of the songs that I actually remembered. Like
Okay.
I don't remember it as well as the next song we're going to talk about, but I remembered this one. I remember specifically just the crawling in my skin part, probably
Mm.
because it's just so. I mean, it really takes you when he just starts screaming that. I love the beat.
Yeah.
I took it
Beats
as a
great.
song about yeah, I took it as a song about a person just in search of themselves, and I like it too when Shinoda says, "Without a sense of confidence, I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take." I thought it was good. I thought it was a pretty good song, the second best single, if you ask me.
Mm. Yeah. Definitely. And we go to probably, arguably, probably one of the greatest songs. Probably one of the greatest songs of this century, if you ask me. In the end,
Woo!
well, maybe to some people, but I mean, well, at least on Spotify, I don't. I know you don't have access to this, but it has over a billion streams on Spotify. So, and these are just
Yeah,
numbers.
on YouTube too, it was 1.8 billion.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I'm just saying woo because I mean, of the century is a huge time
I
span,
thought you were
but
talking about
I
what I
mean,
said.
I
My,
wasn't. No, I mean, I agree. I wasn't even into this group, and the crawling song, I was vaguely familiar with it, but this song I actually, when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, like I really know this song, and I was
yeah,
nowhere near this scene. So
yeah,
I mean, it probably is up there.
yeah. It's a very popular song, and just it doesn't get old to me. But what I like about it, just how it starts out. The beat's great. Definitely, maybe third best beat on the album. And then I just like how, I think it's a good song where Mike Shinoda really displays his rapping abilities. One thing, I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. And then I just love how Chester jumps in, all I know. The two just really fed very well off each other, with being, a rock vocalist and a rapper, just it doesn't get any better than that. Like with a verse like that. Um, yeah. So
I agree. It was a very smooth transition. These are my favorite kind of songs when they have a super smooth transition between
yeah.
the verse and the chorus. I remember talking about this on that Too Short album because he does the same thing
Hmm.
when the verse is like a the verse to the chorus is just a sentence. Like he says, "What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard." So I thought that was really cool. I love that. I really see why the song resonated with such a wide audience. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of a human experience of you're gonna there's always gonna be something that you try really hard and fail to do, whether it's a relationship or a sport or it could be a business, anything. So
Yeah.
it's a really cool song. I like how he's just like I'm here to tell y'all it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Like he's not
Yeah.
trying to be inspirational. He ain't no qualifiers. He's just like that's how he feels at that moment. So I really like that. Um
Yeah. I tried so
but
hard and got
yeah,
so far,
he
but in the
tries.
end, it doesn't even matter. So
Yeah, and like the crawling video, this one had a sort of positive ending I saw because
yeah.
even though it's kind of a pessimistic song throughout the video, you see this place that used to be completely barren desert land, and
Hmm.
by the end it grows into this beautiful place with vegetation and life. So I thought it was cool how they had a kind of a subtle positive message.
Yeah. The video was all right. I didn't think anything too much. Anything was special. If I had to rank any of the videos, definitely Crawling would have been my favorite. But definitely it did have a positive ending to the video, so I will give it that much. It was pretty good. So, any other thing you want to talk about in terms of the music videos or anything? Cure for the Itch or the paper cut video? Or are you ready to just get into
um,
favorites?
I'll just say I thought Chester looked like Eminem.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well, back then he did. I mean, especially with the blonde. A lot of people were doing that
Yeah.
at the time. That's why I
In
was
that
just
particular video he did, because he had a lot of different looks in all of these different videos.
yeah.
Like he had a different look, and then when I see him, sitting doing interviews and stuff, he had a whole different look from that. But in that particular video, I was like, oh, he looked like Eminem.
Yeah, yeah. I think for Cure for the Itch, it would have been nicer to see just a longer video, and then the paper cut video it actually wasn't bad for a music video with just a bunch of old concert footage. I thought it was pretty good. Some artists I think do it better than others. I think this was actually one of the better ones when it came to just concert footage. I think it went all around and everything. So that's what I'll do there. All right. So we get to the moment of truth. Our favorite part, my favorite part of the episode. Uh, our top three favorites. What did you go with?
Um, from your earlier statements, I can already tell. I don't know if you're going to agree with this one, but my top three are I think you might agree. I think you will agree with this one. In the end,
Yeah, I agree
my
that one.
my other two are Forgotten and Paper
Forgotten.
Cut.
All right, paper cut. Okay. Well, I mean, I never thought I would do this. You remember when we did the Marshall Mathers LP?
Hmm.
Yeah. I think the three singles that we just discussed are the best ones on the album. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Crawling is my favorite song, and in the end, very good song. And one step closer. It's just I just get into Linkin Park mode anytime I hear that. Like, oh yeah, yeah, here they are. But I did come up with some honorable mentions. I had to give it up. So let's see. Points of Authority was one of them. Paper Cut. So we will discuss that one. And then A Place for My Head and With You. Well, those were my four. Those were my four honorable mentions. So since you already know my three favorites, let's I guess we could do Forgotten first. What do you like about that one? I'm a little curious because I did not see that one coming.
I liked, I guess you call it storytelling. He takes you on this journey through his mind as he's kind of reliving trauma and is trying to escape it. He says, in the memory, you'll find me, eyes burning up. And then he compares his trauma to a picture. He says, taken far from my safety, the picture's there. And then he talks about his escape from the trauma. He says, the darkness holding me tightly until the sun rises up. It's like how he took us on a journey through his mind and Forgotten and used a lot of imagery. I thought it was really cool.
All right, yeah, just not one of my picks. I mean, it's a decent song for the most part, but in terms of like, I just didn't have any like emotional attachment to it. And then Paper Cut. What'd you like about that one?
Yeah, I thought Paper Cut was um probably the second best song on the album.
Okay, that's fair.
Second to In the End. Uh and I like how he or they frame their own consciousness as negative. They frame their own consciousness as a face.
Mm,
They say it's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's the face. It's like the face inside is right beneath my skin. Um, and then they say, this face watches you lie, it laughs when you fall, and it inspires a sense of paranoia. He says it's like I'm paranoid looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head.
mm,
And he even tells the listener, like, hey, I know you're feeling the same way too. And he says, the face inside is watching you too, right inside your skin.
yeah,
Um, so
yeah. I
I
think.
really liked it,
Mm,
and I thought the beat was crazy.
yeah, I didn't think the beat was that crazy, but I do see like the meaning behind the lyrics. Yes, we disagree there, but it's a good song. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was one of my honorable mentions. So, but yeah, I do see why it was a single, like in terms of that. And I think just what he's saying, and especially what was going on during that time period. Late '90s, early 2000s, like what kids were going through, what people were going through. So it's like, hey, we're not that much older than you. We can relate to you what's going on. So that's what I kind of liked about it. And then I think it also definitely displays. Another song that displays, Mike Shinoda's rapping abilities. How he just starts out the song that, he doesn't always need Chester to, kind of back him up. That one, and also A Place for My Head, too. I think that's also another great song where Mike kind of just steals the show and does his own thing, just, rapping, singing, whatever you want to call it. So that was one of the things I liked about that one for, a place for my head. So, you
Yeah,
know,
I really liked the place for my head too.
yeah. Yeah, that was a
Uh,
good song. But
yeah,
definitely. And then With You was just another great song too that I just want to shout out as well. Just I like let's see, With You. If I go to the lyrics, just yeah. I woke up in a dream today, the cold of static, and put my cold feet on the floor. So just want to shout that out. And then the chorus, with you, you now see, keeping everything inside with you. You now see, now I see even when I close my eyes. So thought that was a good song too. So yeah, Paper Cup with You, A Place for My Head, and Points of Authority. Yeah, those were my four alternate picks, or honorable mentions. But definitely a really good album. So let's see. Anything else you wanted to shout out, or you're good?
Um, with I didn't care for "With You" that much. I mean, it was pretty good. It was probably my least favorite on the album, but the album was pretty good, so that's not saying too much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I like a place for my head when you just talk about when
Yeah.
humans are like just being too transactional. He says the sun doesn't give light to the moon, assuming the moon's gonna owe it one.
Uh
I
huh.
thought that was cool. He says I want to be in the energy, not with the enemy.
Yeah.
A place for my head. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely some good songs on there. And yeah, just we move on from our favorites. I know what you guys are thinking. Justin, you weren't original, but hey, if Netta can like all the singles as her favorites from the Marshall Mathers LP, why can't I like all the three top singles from this one? I mean,
Hey, if you like it, you like
yeah.
it.
If we ever do Meteora, though, I can tell you right now, I will have some deep cuts in my favorites there. So don't, it wouldn't be a clean sweep there. That's all I want to say. So we get into album cuts and expansions. There were quite a bit. The Japanese edition. There was a Japanese edition. There's an iTunes Deluxe edition. The special edition, which included some music videos. Three of them are on Spotify. Probably the same for Apple Music as well. They had a vinyl reissue in, I believe, 2013. I want to say, yeah, I think it was 20. Yeah, 2013 was a vinyl reissue, and then the 20th anniversary, which included the reanimation. Reanimation is pretty much a remix of all these songs. Pretty interesting. So I know the Points of Authority remix was a single. So that's definitely check that out. Um, it wasn't an official studio album. It was a remix album, pretty much from their follow up to what they did on Hybrid Theory. But yeah, definitely Points of Authority. So check that out. And then they definitely do have some the Hybrid Theory EP on the 20th anniversary B side and some rarities. The LPU rarities, forgotten demos, some of their earlier stuff, sampler, and a DVD as well. Well, several DVDs. So yeah, you're getting a lot with that if you buy it. I think it's about $100 maybe. I'm not too sure. And they also did a live album of this of the Hybrid Theory as well. So yeah, definitely a lot of special editions out there when it comes to this. So I mean, if you really love this album so much, it's it's beyond content of track number 12, if you know what I mean. So if you're a fan, definitely check it out. At least check out the three bonus songs that they have. I listened to them; they're pretty good for the most part. So at least listen to those three bonus songs if you don't got time to listen to it all or watch it all. All right, recommendations. I got more recommendations beyond the ones I listed here, but I will give a couple shout outs to some of the other new metal rock bands doing their thing during the time. Papa Roach, POD, System of a Down, and I can't forget about Korn. So definitely check those artists out. But the recommendations for albums I had. First band we're gonna talk about. It's a band you've probably seen them. You've probably seen them next to each other in a record store because of how you spell their names. Limp Biscuit, Chocolate Starfish, and Hot Dog Flavored Water would be my first recommendation. It's a pretty good album for the most part. Well,
That's a mouthful.
yeah, it's a long title, but it's. I wish I was kidding, but
And it's all over the place. What you
yeah,
say? Chocolate hot dog and the what?
Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water.
Okay.
If we ever do
That's a
Lincoln,
good one.
whenever we do Lincoln Park, we'll probably do that one from them first, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, please let's do that. Just based on the name.
Yeah, I know you're curious. POD, Satellite. I got that CD laying around somewhere. That's a pretty good one. They were also another, new metal, rock rap band. You want to whatever you want to call it. They were doing their thing. So definitely give that a listen if you haven't. And then I figured I'd take it back to hip hop a little bit, but definitely we did Cypress Hill. Seems like a very long time ago now. Some episodes back. Skull and Bones. And like I said in the Cypress Hill episode, they were really the first ones to get both that rap and rock audience, which Linkin Park was able to get as well. Um, I think definitely Rage Against the Machine, Korn, they may have started the whole thing, but definitely Cypress Hill, did their thing too in the whole new space here. So definitely give it up to them. All right. What are your final thoughts on this album? Taking anything back to your playlist after listening to this? What do you got?
I'm taking Paper Cut back, of course.
Of course. Speaking of
I
paper cut, I
think
got to get the vinyl before we go. But yeah, so you're taking paper cut back. What else?
I think they set out. I mean, I think they did what they set out to do. In a 1999 interview, they said, "We don't want people to listen to our songs and go, okay, this is the hip hop part. Okay, that's the rock influence.
No,
We don't want to be rock slash rap. We want to be hybrid theory. We want people to hear our sound and identify that by the name of our band." Even though they did end up changing
changing
their
it.
name, I think they did what they set out to do. Because I mean, I didn't know whether to break a guitar or to do the Dougie. So I think they did. I think they did it right. They did have a lot of. It reminded me of, like you just said, Cypress Hill. It also reminded me of the Beastie Boys and the what is it? The Killing in the Name people, Rage Against the Machine. I think you
Yeah,
just said it.
yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. So I thought it was a very, very interesting album. They set it off. They set it off with Paper Cuts. It was crazy. It was
I still
great.
think One Step Closer is their Set It Off song. But before I do go, hold on. Let me grab this thing real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, Paper Cuts. I'm gonna just tell you, Paper Cuts was the best song. It's the second best song on the whole album.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, Paper Cuts. Well, that's what they named their collection. So maybe it is their Set It Off song. I don't know. I'll listen to it later and I'll compare. But yeah, I have this recent collections thing, and from the album we just did, Crawling's on there. Paper Cut. In the end, of course, it wouldn't be a collection vinyl without that.
You
And
said they named the collection Paper Cuts. That's bars.
Paper Cuts. Yeah, Paper Cuts. That's what it's called. And
That's
of
cool.
course, um, just one step closer. So yeah, that Crawling in the end and Paper Cut was on there. So yeah, I might actually bump it later if I have some time. But yeah, this was a Barnes and Noble exclusive. If y'all wanna check it out, I'm sure it's at your local Barnes and Noble record in the section. So, but for me, definitely in the end, I've heard quite a bit, but I think I'll take. Oh, and maybe some of my honorable mentions I'll probably take back to my playlist. Definitely Paper Cut, Points of Authority, uh, you know, A Place for My Head. So, I mean, that's what I would probably take back. But hopefully you're a fan after listening to their music.
Yeah, I would consider myself a fan at this point.
All right. So you heard what we liked about the album. Let us know what you liked. What are the best tracks on here? Did we get it right? Did we miss? Let us know in the comments below. For Netta, aka Wondrous Net, I'm Justin to offer you fool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see you on the next episode. Later.